Welcome back to the channel. I'm Billy D, and this is, of course, Done Different. And today, we are prepping the 2007 Honda CRV all-wheel drive to sell. So this video is going to be the first of, I hope, many vehicles in my flipping series. So this one is the first one that I'm going to use for this purpose and for the content on this channel. Long story short, we're going to get this cleaned up, sold, use that money to buy one or two other vehicles, get those cleaned up, sold, and continue to do that. Not necessarily as a how-to, but just to kind of show you what I am up to when it comes to cars and what I am trying to do more of, which is car flipping. I've done a little bit of it in the past, but at this point, I'm going to try to do it and try to get to the point to where I can get my dealer's license and my own used car dealership. But that is for the future. So this 2007 CRV, I will go through and list all of the numbers on how much I paid for it, how much I had to put into it, how much the registration and all that stuff, total it all up. And at the end of the video, we'll get this car sold, and I will show you how much I made and possibly what I'm going to be purchasing next. Comments below on what you think I should buy to try to flip. Let's go ahead and get to work on this one. I already had the alternator switched out. I will talk more about that here in a little bit, but really all that's left to be done is clean it up real well. Not going to do any paint correction. I will buff it pretty well, so maybe some paint correction, but I'm not going to do any painting of the vehicle at all. The side, these pieces, the trim pieces between the windows, those are faded and really need to be painted, but I'm just going to try to clean them up and buff them out as best as possible. Not going to spend a whole lot of money on the exterior or interior, like the armrest here, that's the old leather evidently was cracked or something, or split, and they pulled it off and put this I don't even know what this is, this vinyl something or another that's sticky and keeps the rest of it from splitting. So I'm just going to leave that. Things like this chip here on the climate control, I'm not going to try to replace everything to make this perfect. I also have a hole in the passenger side rear view mirror that's color matched. Otherwise, I would try to maybe possibly get a different housing for cheap, but since it's color matched, I'm not even going to mess with it. Then get the interior cleaned up after we do the exterior and put it up for sale. So let's go ahead, get to the car wash and start getting it cleaned up. I'm going to be doing an experiment in this video where I'm not using any music for like the time lapses and the long periods of time where I'm doing work or cleaning something, because I have been making my own music for my YouTube channel for about the last 3 years or so, and I just don't have time to make more and to make it decent, because to be honest, those first few songs kind of suck. So I will only be using it here in the montage at the end of the video, but the rest of the video is going to be mostly ASMR, just a little experiment I'm doing. If you guys like that, if you'd rather that than the music, let me know in the comments below. I greatly appreciate that. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and give a earbud warning for this video. There are several times where I use the vacuums or the extractor and it's pretty loud, so consider yourself warned. But for the rest of it, I'm just going to do, like I said, ASMR and possibly a few voiceovers explaining what I'm doing here and there. If you have any questions about my methods or how I detail a car or maybe how I could improve, go ahead and drop those in the comments below. And that's why you do the little things like the door jams and the door jams on the door and the trim. Look at that compared to this one that I haven't done yet. If you were buying a car and it was a commuter car and you wanted it to be fairly nice as it could be, you wouldn't want to buy it looking like this. You would want it to look like somebody took care of it and cleaned it. And this is what you would call like a dealer detail level, where you clean everything, you get all the dirt off and everything. I'm going to go another level. I'm going to actually polish all of the black trim inside and out, get all of that nice and clean. I say polish, I'm going to use a plastic restore on it. Get all of the trim everywhere looking close to new. And then we move on to cleaning the wheel wells, get those nice. Again, another detail that a lot of people that detail cars don't pay attention to. That is a big one, I think, because you can, right here next to it, see how dirty it is back there. So we'll get to that after we get all the door jams on the vehicle. And then after that, we'll head into the inside and get the interior cleaned. So the method that I'm using here to clean the door jams and eventually to clean all of the plastic trim and everything before I treat it, and this goes for the wheel wells and any place that you're just trying to get all the dirt and everything off. Instead of using a hose and getting everything soaking wet, that gray spray bottle, it has nothing but water in it. Now I do use a soapy sponge, or in the case of the wheel wells, I will use a brush, and sometimes a brush on the interior trim. Definitely a small brush when I'm working around the radio and dash and whatnot and the vents. But I use just a little soapy water with a sponge or a brush or a cloth, and then I go through and I use water to rinse everything, and then I usually wipe everything down with the microfiber towel, but I'm running low on microfiber towel, so I ended up using paper towels, which is not recommended. One, it's wasteful. Two, they sometimes will like break up and leave little pieces, but I ended up going back through and wiping everything down multiple times again, because we got record winds and dust storms over the last couple of days while I was cleaning this car. So I had to wipe things down multiple times. CRV. If you're new to the channel, that was my son Cameron, who is a teenager that has, or is classified as having, nonverbal autism. He does have some verbal abilities, as you will hear. He does a lot of stimming, which means that he just talks and repeats a lot of words. He's also echolalic, which means that he repeats what I say, what other people say. He does have some communication skills, but he is very low verbal. So just keep that in mind as you hear him going around and talking and stimming throughout this video. He's a great kid and has come a long way, but again, is low verbal and does stim quite a bit. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're new to the channel.
Deep clean, CRV, Janet wheels in the CRV. Let's see. dirty.
It's the next day, and I went ahead and went around the entire car with a microfiber cloth and just a spray bottle with water and cleaned all of the water spots off and any other debris that might have collected on the body over the last day, so that I can wax it here later today. But first, we're gonna get to work on the plastic trim inside and out. Outside's already been cleaned, but the inside is filthy. I don't think this thing has had a full detail since it was new. So, very dirty, all the plastic on the entire interior. We're gonna go through with some of this stuff. Upholstery cleaner, may even use a little bit of soapy water, but gonna use a little bit of that and a sponge and a brush and go through and get all this plastic cleaned up so that it will turn out like the hatch lid, which I did earlier. Scuffs, especially in the plastic like here, that are actual damage to the plastic, you're not going to get rid of that, or at least not get rid of it and it still look good. So get as clean as possible on that. Probably not going to use any dressing, maybe, I don't know, on the interior plastic. But once that's all cleaned up, then we're going to go through and use the plastic restore on all of the exterior plastic that is faded, which is all of it. You can see here, this is what it used to look like. Did a little test here. You can obviously see of the two brands that I chose that this looks tons better 24 hours later. So this is the one I'm going to go with. I will get to that once we get to that stage. Let's go ahead and get the interior all cleaned up. I ended up forgetting to record me going through and treating all the exterior trim with the black plastic restore. I used the Meguiar's black plastic restore. That was the one there on the right. The one on the left was turtle wax. Did not last or look nearly as good from the turtle wax one, so I went with the Meguiar's. That's what I've used in the past, and it's definitely the best in my opinion. Not a paid product placement. Super easy to apply. You just put a little bit on the plastic or a little bit on a cloth, wipe it on, make sure it's wiped all in nice and good, and then come through and with a clean towel wipe off all of the excess. Picked up this little carpet cleaning extractor from my local Ollie's. They're a discount store if you don't have them in your area. I think I paid 60 bucks for it. They're like $200 on Amazon. I used to use a professional commercial steam extractor that we had at the detail shops that I worked at, and I absolutely loved them. And I wanted something similar. This one doesn't use steam, but you can still put hot water in it, and it actually does a really good job. The only downside is the tanks are really small, so I ended up having to use like 10 to 20 tanks for the entire car, but you get about 10 minutes or so per tank, depending on how much you spray, and seems to work really well. Definitely impressed with this product. If you would like me to do a review video on this product, let me know. Don't usually do review videos, but the ones I have done, I have gotten some pretty good reception on and quite a few views. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to review this carpet extractor. Here's something pretty funny. You see that yellow brownish line that I thought was a bad stain that's here towards the end of this clip I scrubbed really hard to try to get rid of? Well, I bumped the light because I'm working at night. I'm using some lights. Well, I bumped one of the lights and realized that it was actually a projection from the light that was causing that and not a stain. I ended up going ahead and using an interior trim dressing to wipe all the plastic down, all the seats, the dash, pretty much everything inside the vehicle. The one that I used was this cheap version from O'Reilly's. Don't even remember the name of it. It's okay. It works pretty good. It doesn't leave a greasy residue. It doesn't really clean, doesn't really shine. It just kind of gives a nice kind of dull satin look to it. And that's fine. It ended up working out okay. I would recommend, if you are using an interior dressing, make sure it's not greasy. Like, don't use Armor All or something like that, because they have a tendency to collect dust or to just have a greasy feeling to the touch. In this clip, I am restoring the headlights using a Turtle Wax headlight restorer kit, which here as I go through, I will actually give you a step-by-step instructions right off the box. Make sure you follow them to a T, and this will make your headlights look like they are new again, you know, with the exception of like cracks or leaks on the inside that create water droplets. Step 1. Wash your headlights to remove surface dirt. Use masking tape to protect the surrounding paint surfaces. Right here, as you can see, I am on step 2, applying lens clarifying compound to a cotton cloth and rub over entire lens using firm pressure. Buff with a clean terry cloth. Restore only one lens at a time. If lens turns clear, proceed to step 3 below. If lens is not clear after using the lens clarifying compound, proceed to step 2A below. And even though it's pretty clear, I know it can get better, so I went ahead and proceeded to step 2A. Apply spray lubricant to the green polishing pad and directly to lens. Use pads on only those areas requiring restoration. Begin rubbing pad number 1 using firm pressure in a back and forth motion over the lens until much of the oxidation is removed. Use the spray lubricant as necessary to keep the lens and the pad wet. Flip to the tan side of the polishing pad, number 2. Rub back and forth in opposite direction, 90 degrees, of the green pad for 1 minute, keeping the pad and lens surface wet using the spray lubricant. Using the teal side, number 3, of the second pad, repeat process in opposite direction of previous pad side for 1 minute. Flip to the purple side, number 4, and repeat process in opposite direction of previous pad side for 1 minute. Dry lens with a cotton towel. Apply lens clarifying compound and rub thoroughly until the lens turns clear. Let compound dry to a haze and buff with a cotton cloth. Lens clarifying compound can also be applied by machine with a foam pad at 1500 RPM.
Yeah, Big Billy.
Right here, I'm using foam glass cleaner to go through and completely wipe the entire body and everything down before I come through with the power buffer and buff the paint on the car. The main reason for doing this is to pull any dust, debris, anything that might be left on the car off so that I don't buff it in with the buffer. If you couldn't tell from the previous clip, I am having issues with my buffer. The speed controller is not working, so I set it on a low speed to try to work everything in before I go to high speed and buffer everything out. And it just was not cooperating with me. It kept bumping up to the higher speed, even though I had the speed set lower. So I'm going to end up having to get a new buffer at some point. It ended up not coming out as good as I know it could, so I only did one buff. If I went through and hand buffed it, I could probably have made it look a little better, but honestly, this old paint is pretty worn, and it's probably as best as it can be or close to it now. I finished up the full detail by cleaning the windows and then giving it a quick spray wax to get the body all nice and shiny. And then I took it to my favorite photo op spot to take pictures for the marketplace listing. And then I wiped it down real quick to get all of the dust off for the photos. And here's the final result and montage. And there you have it. She's all cleaned up, fully detailed, in complete working, running order, no check engine lights, ready to get posted for sale on Marketplace. And I might possibly take it to an auction if I don't have it sold within the next 24 hours. And if it doesn't sell there, no big deal. I'll still have it listed on Marketplace. If you are interested in buying this 2007 CRV, I will post the link to the Marketplace ad down in the description of this video. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think of the experimentation, of the way I did this, the way I edited this video. If you like it, let me know. If not, let me know that too. And I will adjust my videos in the future for whatever you guys enjoy. I was going to turn this into one long, like hour-long video after I sold it, but I decided I'm going to do a part 2 once it's sold. And at that point, I'll go through, I'll tell you everything I did to the car. I'll tell you how much I paid, how much I made whenever I sell it, go through all the details, let you guys know so that if you're interested in flipping a cheap car like this, that maybe these videos will help you out. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I will see you guys in the next one. Billy D, detailing on out of here. Peace.